Hey, welcome everybody. It's Jay Drexel again with United Tax Liens. It's great to have you here in an effort to put you on the right path in creating that financial future that you want. Obviously, to relieve some stress, help you hit those financial goals and dreams you're all looking for. We're bringing you a number of these different videos to give you some different topics, some things to consider, different ways to invest, and also, of course, most importantly, to introduce you to all of the coaches that we have, our most qualified coaches. And you may have met him before in some previous videos, seen some things that we've already done. One of our most sought after coaches, and obviously one of our most experienced coaches, both on investing. He's been investing for decades. I don't want to age him on this, but he's also been educating for quite some time also. So his name is Eric Lloyd. Eric, how you doing? Good to have you here. How you been?
Awesome, man. Great to connect. I love connecting and chatting with you, especially when it comes to talking about investing and how to help individuals achieve their individual goals.
That's awesome. Well, today what we're going to cover are some basics on to maybe more advanced investing. What red flags should people look for if they're on county sites or just looking around on tax liens, deeds, traditional real estate? Maybe some examples that you've had with some of the students you've been working with.
Ooh, red flags. All right, so it's one of those things where you watch out. You always want to be in that place where you're like, how can I make this deal work? But you got to be aware of what potential problems could come up through the deal. And so there's a couple of places where you can actually go to when you're researching and when you're looking. They're really simple and easy to actually do some research on. And one of the easiest places to go ahead and do some research on, Jay, is actually the county site. And you can actually go directly to the county site and actually look up that property, see what liens or see what is against that property, and make it really simple that way. So you can actually know, hey, if I'm going to invest in this, whether it's a tax deed or whether it's a real estate purchase that you're making, you can know what you're up against. And so avoiding red flags, that is important. So Netter online, NETR online is a great resource that you can use that will help you get access to any county across the U.S.
Will you explain Netter a little bit and tell people what functions it has, what they should look into on that? I know it's a tool that we all use quite often.
Oh, love it. So on Netter, once you log in, it is a public access site that allows you to get direct access to every county website across the US. And you can actually go ahead and check out it'll give you the assessor website, it will give you the recorder website, it will give you the like everything from all of it. So you'll get everything on every county. So once you log into, you don't have to actually have a login. You can actually go there and on Netter online and just choose the state you're looking at, select the county, and then you can actually just enter in the actual address or the property ID and do a quick search and find out what's going on with that property. Probably the best place to do that would be on the recorders portion of Netter Online for that specific county. And that way you can actually make things happen along those lines, if that makes sense.
When you go on there, yeah, it absolutely does. And it's a great tool to have. And of course, lean investing different than deed investing. And something we always come back to is due diligence is the most important thing. However, the different strategies they're going to be investing in always begin with the end in mind. What is your goal? Do you want to own properties or are you just looking for the rate of return? And of course, that due diligence is going to be different, correct? Would you suggest to somebody if they're going to buy the deed on a property, should they pay for a title search, or would Netter and the other websites you guys can lead them to give them enough, as much as checking out what other encumbrances are on that property that may have to be cleared before they can actually take ownership?
There's a couple things you can do. You can actually go directly to the county recorder site and look up that property based on the address or the actual parcel number or the owner's name. And you can actually see what encumbrances are against that property. You can also reach out to a local title company and get what's called a PR, which is a general property profile and telling you what is against that property. Most title companies will provide that to you for free. And so so I would say check out the recorder's office, and then also check out the local, your local title company. Both of those will help out in that process.
Okay, if somebody was doing that and they saw something, if something came up, if you, let's say you were helping an investor get started and they pulled that up and they were showing it to you, what are a couple things that you would point out and say, hey, this is a big red flag. I really research this before you decide to buy this property. Is there anything that you've seen that you're like, oh, this is one that I don't know, you need to dive a little deeper?
Um, well, there's a lot that can come up. And the great thing is when you're doing your research, you will gain so much knowledge. And so you want to become an expert in actually figuring out what is going on with that specific property. You may find out that it's a homestead property, which means different things in different states. And, I would definitely recommend staying away from those.
Yeah.
And few properties that actually come up for are, in the auction process or different things are homestead, but those can come back to you later on. And so that's a red flag to watch out for, but know that, you won't see that very often. Also, I would say as you're looking at things, make sure that the property itself, I mean, the great thing about when you're looking at properties is, just do a quick search on it, find out what the liens look like, and find what is your investment strategy and how do you want to exit the deal? Like, what are you picking it up? Like, I'm making a bid on this, and it's going up for auction on the tax deed auction, and I'm making a bid on this for 5,000, and the properties are selling for 20,000. Just make sure you go ahead and do a quick title search, if you will, and you can do that through the actual recorder's office or a local title company.
That's great information, obviously, too. As far as getting started, I think we both agree with this. There's a lot more work you're going to go into in terms of looking for red flags when you're buying the deed versus the lien. Would you say to go even this far into a lien investment if, let's say somebody, they're just in it for the yield. They don't really care about the properties like a hedge fund, something like that. Would you say that the homework on that is a lot less than it would be on doing this on a deed?
Ooh, they're different. And so
Yeah.
when you're looking at it on the lien side, you're approaching it as either an idle investor
Yep.
or an active investor. Okay. And so as on the lien side, you're looking to get a return on your investment or get whatever that state is paying. Typically in Florida, it's paying 18%. And so if you want to get that, and obviously your focus is to make sure you get redeemed. Okay. And so you look at that, you do your research on the property, you see if there are other investors that own other certificates. And if there are other investors that own other certificates, and there's all kinds of things that will teach you as far as how to approach and determine what is a good investment as an idle investor and what maybe not be the best investment as an idle investor, that and determine if that fits your investing strategy and say, okay, yeah, I am willing to invest in this as an idle investor. On the deed side, it is different because the deed, you actually end up owning the property. And so what you want to go ahead and do is you've got to figure out, it'll have an opening bid, and then it will also have you must determine how much you are willing to pay. And so to actually determine how much you're going to pay, you've got to figure out what is the market value in that area. Okay. And so if you got a property that's worth, let's say 30,000, which is maybe a vacant lot, how high would you bid to get that property that's worth 30,000? And so, Jay, both great questions when it comes to, as an idle investor, what is your strategy? Make sure you've clarified that with your coach. And then on the deed strategy, make sure you understand what is that property worth and what is your approach and how high will you bid to get that property.
Right. Well, great info. I know we're running out of time. I'd like to thank you for being here with us again, Eric. I appreciate it.
Oh, love to be here all the time. Love it.
Good. Well, I know we're going to see Eric back on more of these, giving you some more information. And really, just once again, everybody, the most important thing, obviously, begin with the end in mind. Know what your goals are before you get started, but also realize there's a lot of red flags out there that you don't know about by reading a simple book, watching a couple of silly YouTube videos. And it's why it's so important to have an expert like Eric guiding you on this path so you know what to look for. So eventually you are a professional investor and this is your main focus. You know what to look for. It's second nature to you. All right. So if you don't already have a coach set up, reach out. If you would like to have Eric set up as your coach, check his availability. He's very busy, especially recently with so many new investors and clients coming on. So good to have him on that path. We look forward to working with him again. And for everybody out there, best success to all of you, and we'll see you next time.